Hello, very good evening to you. Welcome to ITV News and to Friday night's calendar.
Hello, thanks for joining us. Here are tonight's main stories.
The family's given just a day to prepare their elderly relatives for eviction after their care home temporarily closed for repairs.
She knows that something's changing and she knows that she's not going to be here, surrounded by the staff here who love her.
A miraculous recovery. The woman from South Yorkshire who fell 15 feet down a ravine while skiing and survived against all the odds.
I have had my moments where I'm a bit like why me? But then it's like, what benefit that it's happened now? Like, what benefit do I gain out of that? You're better off being positive and looking forward.
Unearthing the Steel City's medieval past, glimpses of Sheffield's once mighty castle are emerging in a new excavation.
And as the month of May and the school half-term holidays draw to a close and June begins, as does the meteorological summer, is there any settled weather in store? All the detail a little later on.
First tonight, the family's given just a day to prepare their elderly relatives for eviction. The residents of Hazelgarth Care Home in Nottingley were told last Thursday that they were going to be moved to homes across the area.
Well, most of them were picked up in taxis the following day, but 87-year-old Pat Broomhead is now the only resident after her family said she's simply too ill and the move could kill her. Helen Steele reports.
Do you want to move home?
Oh.
You want to stay with the people here at Hazelgarth?
Pat Broomhead's family believed that this, simply to stay where she is, could be her last wish. Their greatest fear, that it won't be granted.
On Monday morning, she didn't want to get out of bed. She was heartbroken, crying, saying that nobody wanted her, nobody loved her. And I just to see that from your mum, who has done everything she can protect you in life, and you now returning that and protecting her, to see her that upset. She knows that something's changing and she knows that she's not going to be here, surrounded by the staff here who love her, who treat her as though it's their own mum, their own grandparent, and you couldn't ask for more.
Last Thursday, residents at Hazelgarth in Nottingley were given 24 hours notice to prepare to move. 4 other residents have been taken to temporary homes. One other family is trying to cope at home.
They were pushing, because we only had the 24 hours, they were pushing for us to get Mum out of here. They wanted her out of here on Friday.
If she's declared fit on Monday, she will move to another temporary home.
That smile on her face on there.
Pat's family claim Wakefield Council must have known the home needed to close before last Thursday.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. She's like a piece of furniture. Like, oh, you move in there, that's it. There you go. Yeah, we know she's on end-of-life care, but this isn't helping. She's not been out of bed for the last 2 days. She's not eating. This is affecting her. Even though she's got dementia, she does understand what's happening.
Well, Wakefield Council insists the decision to temporarily close the care home was made last week. It says it was for a combination of reasons, including care needs of residents, staffing availability and the physical condition of the building.
But this local councillor claims none of that has really changed in the past 6 months.
It's long term. You know, what needs doing in that building. It's not, since it got picked up in November, but the repairs it's been run down for quite a while.
And you say nothing else has really changed to warrant this last-minute decision?
No, nothing.
Pat's family say they'll continue to fight for her. As the first female bus driver in the area and a campaigner for free bus travel, they say it's nothing she wouldn't have done for others.
If she was here, she lived in this house opposite, she would be there campaigning. She'd have changed herself to the fence. She's that passionate about doing the right thing for people, and that's what this is about.
Helen Steele, ITV News in Nottingley.
Well, next, a woman from South Yorkshire who miraculously survived a 15-foot fall down a ravine while skiing in Bulgaria has thanked the hundreds of people who are backing her recovery.
Olivia Corbier, who's 23, was on holiday with friends when she lost control on a slope in Bulgaria 6 weeks ago. She suffered multiple injuries and was given just a 5% chance of survival.
Well, she's now recovering at home in Aston near Rotherham thanks to a £27,000 online fundraising campaign, and she's been speaking to Jonathan Brown.
It was at this point where our world's turned upside down.
They're the haunting memories Olivia, thankfully, doesn't have. A journal written by her friends of the moment she fell down a 15-foot ravine while skiing at a resort in Bulgaria in mid-March. She was just 2 days into a holiday with her sister and 5 friends when it happened. She woke up in a hospital bed in Sheffield 5 weeks later.
Apparently it was a little bit like sludgy, and where you'd normally turn, you couldn't really turn properly. Luckily, my friends saw me fall in. 3 of them jumped in and lifted me up because it knocked me unconscious. Well, they saved my life, basically.
She suffered a bleed on the brain, a broken pelvis and fractured an eye socket and 3 vertebrae, with doctors initially giving her just a 5% chance of survival.
You go from a healthy 23-year-old to have a catastrophic brain injury and you're like, wow, what our lives are going to change all of it forever.
After 39 days on hospital wards in Bulgaria and Sheffield, Olivia left the Royal Hallamshire for home 5 weeks ago. Today she had stitches removed. She's planning to see specialists about nerve damage to her right eye, continuing her recovery after supporters raised £27,000 online to help her and her family.
This has shown how many great people there are in the world, and I didn't expect it at all, but I feel like I can't say thank you enough. I'm just so grateful towards everyone.
Some have given generously in other ways. Vicky's a Bulgarian ski instructor who spent weeks of her own time translating updates for the family. She's now come to visit after striking up an unexpected bond.
If I was in a foreign country in the same situation, not knowing the language, I would prefer somebody to help me and my family. To see her now and everything that she has achieved is just amazing.
And Olivia says she has more targets in mind, chief among them, to go skiing once again.
People have accidents in the cars and stuff like that, and they'll still get in a car, they'll still drive and stuff. So why should I let it put it off?
How do you feel about that?
She's always been a daredevil, so why not? It's just a very sociable thing.
Mum knows that Bansko's got a spa near it.
I'll go for the spa.
So as this family reflects on a traumatic few months, they say their experience won't stop them enjoying life, but it has helped them appreciate just how quickly it can be taken away. Jonathan Brown, ITV News, Aston, near Rotherham.
And we hope, of course, Olivia continues to make a great recovery. Now then, still to come on Friday's calendar. Find out why more and more hardy folk are choosing to take an alfresco dip in open water.
And Pepper and Rosie don't seem to mind the long grass, the cloudy skies and the strong winds that we've had across the region today. But this bee looks like it's sheltering from the elements. We are in for a dry weekend. All the detail a little later on.
Transport bosses at West Yorkshire Combined Authority say they don't know whether Bradford bus station at the city's interchange will ever reopen in its current location. A briefing today heard that a decision is set to be made in September after safety checks have been carried out. The station's been closed since January after concrete fell into the building's basement. Well, next, 2 mothers say they're heartbroken over a decision not to include fully accessible toilet facilities at a new multi-million-pound cinema complex in Gainsborough.
The council says it's looking at a number of sites, but Gemma and Alison say families like theirs have been overlooked when it comes to meeting the needs of those with complex disabilities. Emma Wilkinson reports.
That's where they're going to build this new cinema.
Mylor and Logan both have complex disabilities, so it's often a challenge to get out and do the things they enjoy. But they both love going to the cinema. So Alison from Bradford and Gemma from Gainsborough were initially excited at the prospect of a state-of-the-art cinema close to home, until they realised there were no plans to include toilet facilities suitable for their boys.
I don't think people really understand actually how difficult it is for families like ours. I mean, Milo's 18 now. I can't physically lift him out of his wheelchair and put him on a toilet floor, but that's what many people do. The irony is that Milo was filmed a few years ago for the box office hit Morbius. He wouldn't be able to go and see himself at the cinema in the film that he was in.
How many films have you seen in the last few months? If, Barbie,
Kung Fu Panda 4, all the new films, and he has to leave his hometown to be able to do that.
This cinema is really the anchor in a much wider £18 million regeneration project, which it's hoped will be a real boost for this area and draw more people in. But some of those caring for people with complex needs feel they've been overlooked and excluded. New legislation brought in a few years ago requires new public buildings of a certain size or capacity above 350 to include a changing places toilet like this. The initial plans for this cinema had more than 380 seats. It now appears there will be fewer, around 340, and Savoy Cinemas says the site will be fully compliant with building regulations. Gemma and Alison think morally a changing places toilet should be included, especially because there aren't any nearby.
Changing him in the back of the car, that should not happen. Being expected to lay him on a toilet floor, that should not happen, certainly not in 2024.
Bassett Law is a comparative. There's 6 registered changing places toilets there. There's 2 more on the way. And I really think they've missed a fantastic opportunity here.
The council said in a statement it is working to develop plans for a changing places facility in Gainsborough. It said a number of sites and options are being assessed and subject to funding. It hopes to be able to announce details later this year. But these families feel angry that this levelling up project has so far not levelled up any opportunities for their children. Emma Wilkinson, ITV News, Gainsborough.
Well, after us, it's the ITV Evening News continuing at 6:30. Let's find out what's on the programme from Lucrezia Millarini.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, Donald Trump convicted of a crime, but why there is every chance he could still make it to the White House. Back here on the campaign trail, Sir Keir Starmer says Diane Abbott can stand for Labour. How the technology behind the COVID vaccine could help treat cancer, and the King of Sweden presents ABBA with one of the highest awards in the land. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Thanks, Lucrezia. Now, there's a warning that independent music festivals are disappearing at a faster rate than ever this summer. More than 40 nationwide, including 6 across Yorkshire and northern Lincolnshire, have decided to cancel or have a year off in 2024.
Well, industry experts say operational costs are spiralling out of control and pushing many events to the brink. They're calling for a major VAT cut on ticket sales to help hundreds of festivals recoup and break even. Nick Smith reports.
Come rain or shine, music festivals have become a staple of the Great British Summer. But sadly for many this year, their time in the sun is over. With the likes of Castle Howard Balloon Fiesta and Meadowfest in Malton choosing to cancel their events this year, with the latter struggling to keep their site. The Farm Tracks Festival near Pontefract is bravely launching this year with a lineup of tribute acts. The organiser says one of the big issues festivals are facing is paying their production costs up front.
It's a big ask to get that large amount of money in a short amount of time for some festivals that might need it, and it's a big gamble for them to hold it and then lose the money on it. So I can completely see where they're coming from in cancelling it early, just to make sure that there's no sort of shortfall anywhere or anyone's missing out on any money.
Festivals like this are a staple of your summer season if live music is your thing. With the sheer diversity of events across our region could be under threat. 172 festivals have called it quits since 2019. 1 in 6 didn't survive the COVID years, while operational costs soaring by a third in recent years has also caused problems for many of the others.
Love Saves the Day is one of the first big festivals of the year, and attendees here are telling me they worry the live music sector is shrinking without support.
The music industry and the events industry is struggling because of the price of everything.
We live for festivals, so for it to be shortened or cancelled, that's not something that we want.
Music is my whole life and what I love doing. I can't even comprehend there not being as many festivals. We need more and more and more music.
The Association of Independent Festivals is proposing a temporary VAT cut on ticket sales from 20 to 5% to give struggling festivals a lifeline and keep running through the current economic uncertainty.
We're worried about this year. 43 festivals gone already. We're worried that that could hit maybe 100 festivals, and that would be a huge loss. Will we be able to recover, or will we see further collapsing? Every time a festival goes down, the repercussions are huge. Loads of jobs are lost, loads of volunteering opportunities are lost, and future festival headliners do not get their first steps onto a stage.
1 in 10 of us plan to attend a festival this summer. And while most high-profile events may weather the current storm, others which rely on more modest attendances may sadly vanish, or say that 2024 is their final encore.
What comes next?
Nick Smith, ITV News.
Interesting. Do you live for festivals?
I can't say I live for them. I've been to the odd one or two.
Well, you're suitably dressed tonight. You look great
so?
at one. Yeah, you
Thank
would.
you.
Now, well, festivals might be struggling, but tonight one of the biggest podcast festivals in the country kicks off in Sheffield. 3-day event features some of the biggest names in the game, from, well, John Ronson to Adam Buxton and Catherine Ryan.
One of my favourites, Catherine Ryan. She's very funny. It's been described as the Edinburgh Fringe of podcast festivals. Adam Fowler's been to meet the founders.
Yes, so just putting the finishing touches here to Bethel Chapel. There's actually a podcast going on right behind me now. And over the weekend, this place, the Lyceum, City Hall, all going to be welcoming some of the biggest stars of the podcasting world. And I'm joined now by 2 of the founders of this festival, Alice and Dino. Alice, where did this whole idea come from?
It feels appropriate. This idea was born in the Peaks. We went for a walk and we kind of crystallised this idea that we've had for a long time, that there just isn't an event like Crossed Wires that brings together all the biggest names in podcasting for one weekend in one city and has a festival feel. It just isn't a thing.
And why Sheffield?
Why not Sheffield? This is an incredibly creative city. You know, it's the birthplace of electronic music. This city has a history in sound and audio. And just like all the amazing talent really want to come to Sheffield. They're delighted that we're not doing another event in London. We've got some of the biggest names in podcasting, Catherine Ryan, John Ronson, Adam Buxton. We're having a party here tonight, a VIP party for all of the people who are performing. And they all are really keen to come and get involved and just like hang out together this weekend.
And Alice, you know, you're a very acclaimed podcaster yourself. 1 in 5 people in the UK listen to a podcast at least once a week. And years ago, this wasn't even a medium that existed. What do you think the big attraction is?
I think it's just because podcasting is this very unique experience where it's a solo thing. Like, you know, you feel like they're in your ears and you're the other friend listening into that chat. But also, it's just this kind of mass feeling as well, as we've seen from all the tickets we've shifted. People want to be in a room with other people who know those in-jokes, who remember that thing from 2 years ago that somebody said and it became a catchphrase, or who heard that story and it went viral. Like, you know, it's fun to be in a room with your gang, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you both very much, and good luck with the festival. It all kicks off tonight with Football Heaven and John Ronson. A rare chance to put down the headphones and come and see some of those podcasting heroes in person.
Adam, thanks very much. Sounds like good fun, doesn't it?
Absolutely does, yeah, like a good podcast.
Now, it's been buried near the centre of Sheffield for centuries, with generations walking over it probably never realising it was there. But now tantalising glimpses are emerging of the Steel City's once mighty medieval castle, with new discoveries being made almost every day.
Yeah, I love this story. Well, no paintings exist of the castle that once held Mary, Queen of Scots prisoner, so a team of archaeologists has been unearthing its remains ahead of a redevelopment of the site. Martin Fisher went to look at what they found.
Digging away to reveal where Sheffield itself began. The castle was the very genesis of the city we know today, but for centuries it's been buried, revealed only now by the demolition of Castle Market that once stood here.
Now, there wasn't one Sheffield castle on this site, there's been at least 2. And the first one was made of wood, and we know that for definite now because that's a post hole which would have supported the structure. But the first Sheffield castle didn't end well. During the Barons' War, the wonderfully named John Devil marched here through Lincolnshire, Derbyshire, got to Sheffield and burnt the whole castle down.
The castle was rebuilt only to be destroyed again in 1648 after coming out on the wrong side of the English Civil War. But its story didn't end quite there.
It's incredible, we had no idea this was here at all. This is castle wall that we've revealed for the very first time, and then they've added a bit more castle wall on, and then we've got this perpendicular wall cutting across, and the face of that is actually from an 18th century house, a high status house that was built here. And then the bricks on top, they're from another phase again. That's from a steelworks that was built on top of that.
I mean, there's a 12-metre well on top of the old the castle motte, going back to medieval times. You know, that's incredible. But specifically, the new castle walls that have been found recently shed light on the castle that we've never known before.
The area is going to be redeveloped into a park, with hopefully some of the medieval castle on display, like the newly discovered drawbridge.
Yeah, well, there's more to dig, but this is the drawbridge pier. So this is where the drawbridge would have come down and landed, and people would have entered and exited the castle.
And over here?
This is the other side of it. Down beneath all this concrete, we've got the round bastion of the gatehouse, and there's a bit stuck on the side of it, which is where the drawbridge would have come down to land on the pier over there.
We are determined to make sure that this regeneration incorporates those elements of Sheffield Castle, so you can bring school kids down, you can bring your family, and those 20,000 new homes in the city centre as well can really enjoy this space as well.
Now, not all of the castle is going to be excavated. This bit, the inside of the castle, is going to be turned into a park. But it does make you wonder just what's under there.
But that mystery will have to wait for another time. For now, though, at last, Sheffield has recaptured its castle. Martin Fisher, ITV News.
Fascinating stuff. Speaking of fascinating, Kerry, have you got some fascinating facts about the weather?
Well, it's the end of May and it's the end of the meteorological spring. I start talking about summer tomorrow. Can you believe it? It's not felt very summery this week, has it? Our official stats will, of course, be in tomorrow, and it's a weekend, so I probably can't talk in too much detail until Monday. But spring itself looks one of the warmest on record. It was wet, it was dull, and also May, one of the warmest on record, and also it was dull. And Robert Brooks, who has his weather station in Farsley, says he's had the dullest May in 30 years. There we go. Oh, but is it getting any better? Well, as we head into June on Sunday, it's probably our best day of the weekend, actually. We've got a northwesterly on the charts, so you might think it might be quite cold, but it's moving around this area of high pressure. Not especially warm, but it will feel warmer by Sunday. But we've also got a northwesterly by midweek next week, but that is coming from a completely different direction. So we've still got the northwesterlies on our chart, but it's coming in from a north-northwest, so quite a showery conditions at Polar Maritime. So chilly and quite showery, so make the most of the weekend, you guys. It is looking all right. I'm very much looking forward to Sunday. I might even have a barbecue, you never know.
Oh my goodness.
I know. We've had some amazing photographs this week. A big thank you. Very mixed conditions out towards the coast. This was Scarborough midweek. A big thank you to Andy Taylor. Yes, some thundery downpours there, and then of course we've had the very strong winds at the coast over the last 24 hours, but also some sunshine and some lovely rainbows. Now it is Friday, so I like a cutie, don't I? Hawes in the Yorkshire Dales, Stephen Abbott of Hatfield Doncaster was there, and this is my absolute fave of the week. I think it's going A up, it's the weekend.
Yay! We won't argue with that.
Happy about it.
He'll be happy in that sunshine, won't he? Kerry, thanks for now.
And when it comes to a bit of outdoor swimming, I know I'd rather be in the warm sea in the Caribbean than in a cold river here at home.
Well, I'm inclined to agree with you, Ian, and you might think that, but it seems more and more of us are enjoying a bit of wild swimming.
Well, they do say it's good for your mental well-being as well as for your physical fitness, and now there's a new qualification for leaders of open water swimming groups.
We've sent James Webster to take a dip and find out how to swim safely outdoors.
Are we all ready to go? Yeah! Come on then, let's go in!
Taking a dip in the great outdoors.
When the back of the neck and face, everybody.
Whether it's for exercise or relaxation, the popularity of outdoor swimming is increasing. So what's the attraction? At the Blue Lagoon in Womersley near Doncaster, the Blue Flamingos group regularly gets together to enjoy the water.
First time I came swimming, after I've been in about 3 days afterwards, I was just on a constant high.
I love it because I've had 2 new knees and it's helped them. It sort of eases the pain when I'm in the water, and it just makes you feel tons better when you come out.
Anyone who leads outdoor swimming sessions can now get a qualification in doing that safely from the organisation Swim England.
We really want experienced outdoor swimmers that really want to be able to up their game a little bit in terms of risk assessment, knowledge of the environment, how to lead a group, which is really crucial. We want people to have really positive experiences.
The Ocean Walker Academy near Market Raisin in Lincolnshire is the country's first purpose-built outdoor swimming lake.
So first of all, what is open water swimming?
Here, they run sessions for beginners.
OK, so as we get into the water, I don't want you just diving in.
And the team say the beginners often become regulars.
first few times they can be a little bit worried, but I mean some of them have returned year after year and they say to me, oh look at those new people going in, and I think they go, that was me last year, and they're completely confident each time they come back.
So as we go in, what we want to do is wet the back of the neck and shoulders.
So after my briefing, I'm giving it a go too.
So after 3, 1, 2, 3, down we go. Oh, well done!
I'm surprised how quickly my body adjusts to the temperature, and the people I'm swimming with tell me all about what gets them here in all weathers.
I have polyarthritis, so I have rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis, and I was advised by the doctor that if I didn't swim, I would freeze up.
You've got no swimming pool roof over you. You could have maybe 50 people in the lake, but you really feel as though you're just swimming on your own because it's just so large.
What is it about open water swimming that actually is good for you?
Yeah, well, look, there's just so many benefits, physical and mental. When you go in that feeling of euphoria, you get that sort of cold water shock, and that produces dopamine, that gives you that natural high, and people get addicted to that. It's good for weight loss. There's just so many benefits. It's the best sport in the world, my friend.
Adam's enthusiasm is infectious. It certainly worked on me, and the team at Swim England hope their new qualification also helps more people like me to try outdoor swimming safely for the first time. James Webster, ITV News.
James got a camera on his head there by the look of it.
No, you're not convinced?
Not for me. No. The Caribbean Sea would be very nice.
It could be the weather for it this weekend, couldn't it?
Hey,
to swim
could,
safely.
you know.
Here's Kerry.
Good visibility on the horizon. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, it's definitely been another blustery one across the region today, and for most of us, certainly for the first half, disappointingly cloudy, although you still managed to get those brilliant photographs over the last few days to me, weather photos at itv.com, and even this morning a glimmer of sunshine over the Pennines in West Yorkshire. As we head through into this afternoon and this evening, we did see a very slow clearance from the north, and that will continue as we head deeper into tonight. So pretty much after dark is where we'll see the best of the clear skies developing. Into the early hours, we get that east-west split again, western parts getting the best of the drier and clearer, and slightly colder conditions in rural spots, but we stay dry across most parts of the region as we head towards dawn. There are eastern times as we head into the weekend, 4:42 and 9:27. Tomorrow morning there will be a bit of cloud around, but we are expecting it to break, and so as the day progresses we'll see a mixture of variable amounts of cloud, some sunshine. It will feel okay in the sun. We've still got that northerly breeze, but it is a little bit lighter tomorrow, and then we expect again as we head towards the end of the day those skies to clear. The cloud melts away as we head through into tomorrow night. Could be even one or two rogue mist and fog patches as we head into Sunday, but we do get the lion's share of the sunshine, perhaps just a little bit of cloud filtering into North Yorkshire by the very end of the afternoon. We do have this weather front to the north and west. It is weak, or it will be weakening as it pushes through during the course of Monday, but do expect more cloud around, and then on Tuesday we're hoping for a dry and bright day before it turns blustery. Cooler with a mix of sunshine and showers for Wednesday and Thursday, but quite often there is a high UV sunburn risk.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
The first 2 weeks of June is the first peak of our grass pollen season, and pollen counts will rise from the south. Low to moderate on Saturday, but moderate to high Sunday into Monday. There you
Sunday.
go.
That's the day we're looking forward to.
Sunscreen, hay fever meds, but yeah, barbecue.
You can't lose everyone, can you? We'll look forward to that, Kerry. Thanks very much indeed. And that's it from us. I'll be back at 10:30. Lucrezia is next. But from all of us here, have a great weekend.
We'll be watching. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.